going on, Movie Meals? Movie Meals. Lots of reactions just went up to some first looks. We are here to kind of do a quick little talk on some of the big things that we didn't get a chance to talk about since we kind of just did so many Marvel stuff. Let's just stick in the Marvel thing for now. We'll touch on Star Wars briefly, but so I did listen to I got out right as about Marvel was just starting. They had just wrapped the kind of WandaVision stuff. So I was listening to it on the way. There's a lot of cool things that they are going to be going with. The Shang-Chi stuff sounded really cool. There's going to be a lot of tie-ins. They talked Miss Marvel will be, it's the biggest thing. Actually, I'm gonna start with this is all the directors and actors. We're going very diverse, and I really like that. With Miss Marvel, they find a Pakistani actress. They've got lots of Pakistani directors who are coming in who I haven't heard of, which makes me very excited. She is going to link to Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is going to link with her and Doctor Strange. There's all this crazy stuff. She-Hulk. I forgot Tatiana Maslany was announced to be her, and I know how much I love that casting. They did announce Mark Ruffalo will be in that. Abomination with Tim Roth is coming back is something they announced, which I think is cool because he's actually a pretty decent villain in an okay movie that was very early in MCU. So him in the new MCU will be really cool, I think. There was so much. They briefly touched on Blade and Thor. They announced he basically said Blade with Mahershala Ali is still happening and it'll happen next year.
Good.
We'll film next year. Thor 4, they confirmed that Christian Bale will be the villain, which is going to be cool. I have no clue who he's playing. That's going to be really, really cool. Eternals, they just brought up the cast and they've been shooting, and they didn't put up Kit Harington, who's part of the cast, when they put up the list. And I thought that was interesting when he said the names, because Kit was announced that he was also going to be one of those Game of Thrones guys coming in, so his role must not be that major, which actually bums me out a bit because I think the guy's a talent. But didn't show anything. Thought they might give a first look to that, but I guess they're waiting on all the movie stuff. Talked about Black Widow still coming out on time. Confirmed. He said, I'm happy to finally confirm that Haley Steinfeld is playing Kate Bishop. And I thought that was very cool. That's going to be a cool show now that I've seen all these other shows, I think. I'm trying to think of anything else just to rattle off more. There's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Alex.
What?
Fantastic Four.
Yes, John Watts is doing Fantastic Four after Spider-Man 3. That is awesome. Apparently Captain Marvel 2 is going by the director of Candyman, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't remember hearing that in the meeting, but a buddy of ours just sent that.
That was announced a while ago.
Was it? I think.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, Candyman looks good, so yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it does look good. It's that makes me curious of the tone of a Captain Marvel 2 with what we're going here. Miss Marvel will be in that, which they announced, which will be interesting. Didn't announce anything for Spider-Man that I may have missed. I didn't hear any confirming of anything, but I think it's already pretty set in stone that everybody's coming back from all those
Tobey
movies.
Maguire, Andrew Garfield,
So to be caught up, you need to go watch Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Just so you're aware.
In case if you don't know the order,
probably throw in
goes
Civil
1, 2,
War,
3.
Avengers in there. But yeah, any of those kind of catch your. There's going to be an animated Baby Groot shorts they're going to make, which will be interesting for the kids. But anything in there that kind of pops for you that you were more interested in? Any thoughts in our quick little recap here?
Mainly for me, it's Fantastic Four. I was surprised that it was John Watts. I don't really know who I was expecting for Fantastic Four, but I was a bit surprised to hear that John Watts is going to be doing it. But he seems to have done a pretty good job when it comes to directing the Spider-Man movies. Like I've seen him get better and better when it comes to like action, for instance. So I think he could be a good choice for it. I'm just curious about how that casting is going to go.
Yeah, I wonder if they want to go younger like they tried to do with Josh Trank over at Fox, where they kind of made him younger, like college kind of age.
Sure,
I wonder if with Spider-Man 3, with the events of the multiverse and everything, I wonder if they're finally going to have something happen. Oh, we got Ant-Man 3 as well, called Quantumanium or something like that.
Fitting.
I wonder if that multiverse, that kind of energy spread out, is going to cause some mutations. Or maybe some kids happen to get locked up and it might tie into a Spider-Man 3. So that might be interesting. You know, Reed Richards, we could get a tease, you know, if they choose to go, maybe not necessarily younger, but if they choose, they could have him as, you know, Peter's going to college. And so he meets a Reed Richards or a Johnny Storm as a professor or a student. Which would be interesting. So I wonder if they are going younger. They're going to tie it into Spider-Man for this next Avengers they're going to assemble. That is going to be interesting. But I trust John Watts. He's dropped 2 great movies. I've loved both Spider-Man movies, so I have all the faith in him right now if this is what he wants to do. So any other thoughts on that, Kyle?
On Fantastic Four?
Or just in general? Yeah, whatever you got going on in that brain.
They were talking in this investors meeting a lot about Disney Plus, which makes a lot of sense. Like they're wanting to focus on all the content for their streaming service. But I was happy to at least hear that they're still planning on having some Marvel movies like go to theaters. Like I really want theaters to survive this, and we can have the best of both worlds of streaming and movie theaters. So for right now, that was at least nice to hear. And also the same for Star Wars. They announced some stuff with Star Wars as well for theaters that we'll dive into in a bit. So stuff like Black Widow, Doctor Strange, Black Panther 2, they're saying will go to theaters. I was wondering if maybe they'll say who, or if they're going to have someone replace Chadwick Boseman.
No, they said no.
Oh, they did say no. Okay.
Said they will not be recasting the Incredible role, but they do want to expand on the incredible stories that he was telling, which makes me completely think that Shuri will take up the mantle.
It must be. Yeah.
And I think that makes sense for what they've got going on.
Yeah, they'll find a way to work around it. Like, I think there's like some lore that they set up in like the first movie to where like, I don't know, maybe like she can't do that somehow, but maybe she overcomes and changes the rules or something. I don't know. Maybe that'll be how the story goes, but that does make sense though. If you're not going to recast him, and rightfully so, that makes sense, then go in that different route with the fan favorite like Shuri.
Yeah, we also got the Secret Invasion announcement.
So that's a show?
I didn't catch what they said it was going to be. He just said we are doing that. He brought up things that are also been in the pipeline and under talks, and he said that the armored, can't remember what it was called.
Like, did you say Iron Maiden? Is that what?
No, it's called. They did announce the Armor Wars with War Machine with Don Cheadle returning, and it's apparently a comic line where Tony Stark's greatest fear comes to pass and his technology falls into the wrong hands. So that is going to be, I think, an interesting show if Don Cheadle is coming back and a terrorist organization gets the suit, like a legit suit, and Don Cheadle feels responsible to going and stopping it. I think that can be interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. The Secret Invasion, I don't remember them saying what it was going to be. It makes more sense for it to be a movie, I think, but you never know. They also announced Ironheart, and they announced, I believe, who is playing Ironheart, but I do not remember the name. It was somebody I'm not familiar with.
Dominique Thorne?
For Ironheart?
Yeah, that might be the actress.
Haven't heard of her, which is interesting because you would have wondered if they would have gone with his daughter to pick up the mantle for Ironheart, but it looks like they're going with somebody else. So that's interesting to me. But
for Secret Invasion, sorry, Alex, but I did find it. It's going to be a series, and it's going to have Sam Jackson as Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn from.
I knew they were coming back.
Yeah, that is a surprise. Well, not a surprise. I just didn't realize that. Yeah, I guess I was teased at the end of Captain Marvel, at the end of Spider-Man: Far From Home, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm not sure what to make of that yet. Same with the armored. What was it again? Armored Adventures, Armored Wars, Armored Wars. those don't pique my interest yet, as of now, but they only have like title art, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, why don't we just jump over to Star Wars real quick, and then we can call her a day, and you and I can finally eat.
Sounds good.
So Star Wars announced Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will be doing 2 shows that they will be kind of running. Well, Dave Filoni will be involved with the Bad Batch. They announced Bad Batch a while ago, so I was all for that.
That trailer looked pretty good, I thought.
So the spinoff will be with Ahsoka, and that I'm more okay with than a Boba Fett. And I like that that's the direction they're going. It does make, and they announced a sequel series to Rebels. Was that correct?
I only remember the Bad Batch, but maybe I missed something.
No,
I only know of the Bad Batch.
I might be off. They have announced a Lando series, but not much to it. I assume it will be live action with Donald Glover, and if it's animated, you can bet Donald Glover wants in. He's such a fan of Star Wars, and he wanted to play Lando. I mean, he fought to play Lando, and he was great. So I am for that. We got the Andor series announcement that the title will be Andor for Cassian Andor. And Kyle sent me the text that we're getting an Andor series, and I was like, Endor. Why have I heard that name? And it took me a second, but we knew that was coming with our boy who plays K2SO. And then I'm spacing on his name. A lot of stuff.
Diego Luna.
Diego Luna, great actor coming back to play Cassian Andor. That's going to be an interesting prequel series with the lore of what we can kind of dive into. It's him being more on one side or the other. They announced, and then Rangers of the New Republic is going to be by John and Dave as well, and that must be a love child of theirs, and I am for that. If those are the 2 that they have clearly said they're handling and that they're taking over, it must be that these 2 came from them. And I bet you Dave will probably mostly handle Ahsoka, while John probably is on the other side, and they'll mix in the middle. But I really like that.
Do you have
no clue what that's going to be?
Oh, okay.
But it's probably, Rangers of the New Republic sounds like something where this New Republic, I wonder if this is a Poe Dameron type situation where it's kind of how he and these young guys came to form this New Republic to fight the First Order. I'm for that. Let's get into the big elephant in the room to end it. Deborah Chow is sticking with Obi-Wan Kenobi for a show. I love that she is sticking with it. She is a talent. I am for it. I'm glad they've kind of figured it out. They're back to filming. It's 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, which makes sense. De-age Obi-Wan a little bit there because, Ian's a little older than that, but that's about the perfect age that he needs to be. And the big news of the day, to me, the biggest news of almost everything, is that Hayden Christensen will come back to play Darth Vader in the suit. And that is cool. We might also get some flashback memories, I think, which would be cool, especially if Obi-Wan is doing some still training. It's been 10 years, but if he is still doing some training through the Force, and we get flashbacks of him having to fight like Anakin again, which would be really cool. The budgets behind these Marvel shows makes me hyped for a series on Disney Plus, and the budget that's going to be behind it for, obviously Mandalorian, but to get that is hype me up. It's going to be interesting how they handle it with the like timelines and kind of the stuff they've set up, because we have, there are conversations between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader when they finally meet at Obi-Wan's death, and they basically talk about how they haven't really seen each other in a while. So I hope they don't see each other too much in the show, to be honest with you, because I don't want that.
Yeah.
But if the show is going to be a miniseries, it's really just going to be an 8-episode movie, and that's it. I'm okay with them having a meetup 10 years later. I think that works. But if it does end it, they have to end it where it feels like Obi-Wan is dead in the eyes of Vader officially, because he has the line of talking about how, he says something about him thinking he was dead. Can't remember because a lot's happened, but I'm just excited. Star Wars, I trust these guys a lot. Deborah Chow being still announce and they make a point that Deborah Chow is still doing this makes me think that Johnny Fabs and Dave Filoni, who are close with her, obviously for Mandalorian, have said, look, no, we're going to figure this out because you're not going to replace her and go cuckoo for coconuts. And I think
no
maybe
kidding.
Kathy might be staying longer, and because they didn't announce anything with her leaving, which is rumored to happen next year. I wonder if it's because she's staying on, but she has really given a lot of control over to some of them. And they did announce a movie, correct? They also announced Taika Waititi is doing the next film.
Yeah, so first they announced a theatrical Star Wars movie with Taika as the director and co-writer with someone else. They are still working on that. That still is trying to come to fruition. And then they also announced a show called Rogue Squadron with Patty Jenkins as the director. Will also be a theatrical movie. What?
Oh, it's a movie or a show?
It's a theatrical movie. It's supposed to be coming out 2023. I mean, who knows? Okay. We'll see how everything shapes out.
Patty obviously is an absolute monster of a talent. No pun intended there with her great film Monster. But she is amazing. Wonder Woman 1984 apparently is awesome. I know her show on whatever it was with Chris Pine, I know it didn't get the best reviews, but I trust her. She can do a lot of cool things. Getting a story like a Rogue Squadron will be cool. Give me a squadron that does take place within the Star Wars, Skywalker saga, but doesn't necessarily have anything to do with them. It's a side mission of guys we've never heard of who might have been like, yeah, I fought with Luke on Hoth. When Luke said this to me when we were fighting on Hoth, like that can be a cool callback, but that's about it. I like that we're going with nobodies. You get a powerhouse behind this film. A Rogue Squadron sounds awesome. I know Tanner, friend of the channel and show, obviously for the Mandalorian After Show, is big on the Squadrons game, and I have not downloaded it for some reason. He can every day gets on me about it because I hear it's just great. So all that gets me excited. Any thoughts on Star Wars there, Kyle? Anything big?
It's a mixture of me hoping that these stories are going to be new and different, not totally focused on the entire Skywalker saga, and then there's stuff like Ahsoka with Lando show and Obi-Wan, where I wonder how those are going to go. I don't necessarily get too hyped for them because, again, I just would rather see new characters or something different. Maybe I could be wrong and just be persuaded. Maybe they'll find a way to flip the switch, but I like the stuff that I have no clue about, that just sounds a lot different, and that's what I want from Star Wars. Let's go in new directions and, keep feeding us like what we love about this franchise so much.
Squadrons would be cool too because you can get a good 45-minute space battle that never cuts to somewhere else. It's only cutting from people in the space battle, which would be cool and we've never seen. The Lando, I feel very similar to most of what the Marvel shows when they first announced it. It was like, it's a character I love, but I don't need this show. I don't need more about him. But now I'm seeing the trailers for Marvel, and it's like, wow, this looks pretty cool. So I'm with you in the camp, but let's see that first trailer and kind of see what happens. And if Donald Glover does come back, that's what – if you're going to do it, you got to get him. Unless you do animated, you bring in Billy D to do the voice is fine too. But
I think I still would want Donald Glover as the voice.
Hey, my boy. It just depends on the age of him. If they go younger, they'd probably go with Donald. But yeah. So I think that wraps us up here, Kyle. Do you agree?
Those are the two big franchises that we care about. So yeah.
Lots of Pixar stuff, lots of interesting things. We want to get these videos up. Hopefully they all got up at some point where you still care. Internet. But announcements are coming. Mando's tomorrow, so the Mando after show will be probably Sunday afternoon again. But check all those out. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, share. As always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.